Bugatti Chiron 2017 review. The Bugatti Chiron is just a car. That's the thing to remember. Just a car, like any other, 4 wheels, some seats and a tank of petrol. It has just that. The Bugatti Chiron happens to be a car that has able to do what, exactly? Well, some numbers, if I may. The official figure says the Chiron is able to do 420 km per hour, or 261 miles per hour, but that's misleading because it is both electronically limited and slower than the old Bugatti Veyron Supersport was, when that became the world's fastest production car at 267.8 miles per hour that had a mere 1183 bhp. The new Chiron has 1479 bhp to be getting on with. So it ought to go rather faster than the Veyron. Especially given that the Chiron's brief was very simple. The simplest that Bugatti boss Wolfgang Durheimer, once head of Porsche R&D, but, by dint of him being brilliant and several of his Volkswagen Group colleagues being suspect, now in charge of both Bugatti and Bentley, had encountered in his career. Be better than the Veyron in every respect, it said. Which means that, when Bugatti goes back to the Volkswagen Group's Relation test track with the Chiron next year, to tell us exactly how fast it'll go, it'll be a bigger number than that official figure. Bigger than the Veyron Supersport's number, Durheimer says, by a notable amount, although nobody at Bugatti yet cares to speculate how fast that might be. If it were 10% faster, and with 50% more power, that's not unreasonable, that'd be 295 miles per hour. But it won't be that. The Chiron will go, by my reckoning, only as fast as its tires will allow before they explode. So my guess is they'll test some to destruction on an aerospace rolling road, instruct a driver to swallow some brave pills, strap in, hold on and ease off at a few miles per hour under the point of detonation. Let us call it, for the sake of argument, 275 miles per hour. This is my number, not theirs, and if I am out by 5 miles per hour either way, so be it. It's a plenty big number. But it's important because everything else you read about the Chiron here has to be tempered by that fact. A car defined by massive numbers is at once constrained and liberated by that singular top speed. It dominates yet compromises its character. Yes, it's just a car. But it's one that'll do 275 miles per hour, and that entirely defines what it is like. It means, for a start, that when they tell you about it, you stand there and they begin to hand you parts and show you graphs. The pursuit of such a big number is so obsessive that it is easy to get lost in the details. I would need hundreds of pages and minutes to tell you everything, but the short of it is this: the Chiron is a carbon fiber tugged 2-seater with conventionally opening doors. It has an 8.0-liter, 16-cylinder engine in a W configuration, which means 4 banks of 4 cylinders around a common crankshaft, the upper 2 banks with a 90 deg V between them, and the lower 2 another 15 deg each side of those. There are 4 turbos, 2 of which are blowing all the time and fed by 8 exhausts apiece, to minimize what would otherwise be unimaginable lag. The other 2 are valved, to drop in and out, depending on throttle position and rev range, and when they re-on, each of the 4 turbos is powered by 4 exhausts. That they drop in and out helps to make near flat torque curve of 1,180 pounds-foot from 2,000 pm to 6,000 revolutions per minute, a number that seems no smaller no matter how many times you write it. It travels to all 4 wheels via a revised version of the Veyron's Ricardo dual-clutch automatic transmission that uses heavier-duty clutches and lighter gears. Power goes mostly to the rear, but with a Haldex coupling pushing it to the front when the rears can't cope, which would be often. Wheel sizes are up by an inch each end over the Veyron, so 20 in fronts and 21s at the rear, but tires are wider at the front, 285 mm, and narrower at the back, 355 mm. Then on a Veyron Supersport, for a better handling balance. Yes, Bugatti cares about track times and handling. By its calculations, it would be among the fastest cars in the world around Le Mans, thanks largely to its performance along the Mulsanne Straight. Being a Volkswagen Group car, the Chiron must work all over the world, and 1479 bhp and 1180 pounds-foot wants an astonishing amount of cooling, so although the Chiron is low, at 1212 mm, it is 2038 mm wide. Other notable details. Literally hours of them. Turbos that look about 50% bigger than the Veyron S, a carbon fiber intake manifold, conrods that can take half as much more strain as a Veyron S but weigh no more, 420 mm diameter carbon ceramic brake discs, a steering wheel milled from a solid piece of aluminium, suspension bushes that contain 3 different rubber compounds to give different responses laterally, longitudinally and vertically, and the CFRP underbody, flat apart from NECA ducts, a few strakes by the front wheels and a deeper diffuser, and constructed from a honeycomb cord composite that, in thinner form and with a smarter finish, comprises the car's body, a body whose weave is so exquisitely constructed that you can leave it bare if you like, or color it mildly through the clear coat. I could go on, and I will. The passenger cell is carbon fiber, naturally, but now so is the rear subframe, engine carrier. The engine is put in position at Bugatti's Molsheim factory and the cell and carrier are assembled around it, joined by just 10 titanium bolts. It has, Bugatti says, a torsional rigidity of 50,000 Nm per degree, so racing car levels of stiffness. The other numbers are equally astonishing: 0 to 62 miles per hour in 2.5 seconds, 0 to 124 miles per hour in 6.5 seconds, 0 to 186 miles per hour in 13.6 seconds and, let us say, 275 miles per hour. Never forget the 275 miles per hour. Oh, one more number, 2,518,000 pounds, at the exchange rate as I write. There will be only 500 Chirons made, and the truth of it is that 2.5 million pounds each is too cheap. Yes, Bugatti will make money on the project, Durheimer tells me, but not so much that Volkswagen would necessarily have sanctioned it in the climate the company currently finds itself. But still, yes, too cheap. It is 2 million pounds before taxes, so multiply that by the 500 and you have 1 billion pounds with which to design, engineer, produce and support an entirely new car that is homologated for sale the world over and which must meet the VW Group's exacting standards for seemingly trivial but no doubt expensive things, like keeping its interior cool when it is hot and clearing the windscreen when it is cold. It is, after all, just a car.